Restrictions are loosening in lots of places. After a year of relative social isolation, that's a big deal. But are we ready to plug back in again? Well, turns out a lot of people are feeling nervous about it, and some are even wondering if they actually want to pick back up with their social lives from where they left off. We'll talk about that transition today on Badger Talks. I'm Veronica Rickert. Christine Whelan is with us. She's a clinical professor in the School of Human Ecology and an expert on wellness and well-being. Professor Whelan, hello.
Hi there, good to be here.
Well, is it normal not to feel ecstatic at the thought of seeing everyone in your life in person again?
Absolutely. Whether you are a natural introvert or even an extrovert, we have been apart from other people for a really long time. And I can tell you, even from my own experience, as we just set a small toe out into the world of socializing and parties, we want to make sure to do it safely, but also to give ourselves some grace, because it's kind of exhausting when you haven't been doing it for a while.
Right. So this is this social awkwardness, which is uncomfortable even when we're in the swing of our social lives. But what about when it's been a long time? How do we overcome social awkwardness?
So I have been referring all of my students and the folks that I'm advising online to an oldie but goodie, Dale Carnegie, How to Win Friends and Influence People. So back in the 1930s, as people were struggling with the Great Depression, Dale Carnegie came out with this guidebook with basic ideas on how to smile and interact with people, how to ask people questions about what they're interested in. And I got to tell you, I was reviewing it recently, and it's a really useful kind of tune-up for all of us. So I would start with some of the basics. The idea is, you know what you've been doing for the last 13 months. Instead, ask people about what they've been up to. And if you have some awkward pauses, you can, whenever they say something, say things like, "Tell me more, I'm interested." And the more we can draw other people out, the easier these new social interactions are going to be.
So many great points there. And I have to laugh at the thought of learning to smile again, because now that I think about it, I am not sure I remember all the basics, like how to smile again at the right time in a conversation.
So on the smiling, it's a great point, because I have been, over the last year, smiling under a mask. And when you smile under a mask, you smile really big so it gets to your eyes. But when you do that in person, maybe without a mask on, that you look kind of funny. So yes, there is a steep learning curve of things we didn't even realize we had to re-socialize into our repertoire of how to be with other people. There is also this element of, do we really want to end up in all the same social situations that we felt obligated to be in pre-pandemic? So I think there's also an opportunity to have a little bit of a reset. Now, I would encourage everybody, just because it's difficult at first does not mean that it's not worth doing. And this is where putting away our devices, actually trying to be with people in real life, in real time, is I believe is going to pay off lots of dividends in terms of our social relationships, even if it's a little awkward or exhausting at first.
Those are some really good thoughts. And I want to pick up on one thread there, and that is that things may not look the same anymore. What if we don't want our social lives and our social habits to mirror what they were before? There will be shifts, I assume. How do we navigate that? What if someone decides we're not in their circle anymore, or we decide we want to make our circle more tight over time?
So a lot of issues have come up in the last year, not just around the pandemic, but around social justice and equality issues. And there have been a fair amount of political tensions in the last year, too. When we re-socialize, we're going to come across people who were on very different sides of a lot of these issues over the last year. And we need to figure out how to navigate that and how to figure out safe topics to talk about, or whether we really want to have relationships with these people going forward. I would say that that really having some grace with yourself, but also asking yourself the hard questions about what matters most to me in terms of these relationships. Why do these relationships matter to me? And how is the best way I can make it happen while still preserving some of the potentially great relationships that you've been able to deepen during the pandemic. So for example, for me, I've spent a lot more time with my kids and my partner in the kitchen, making dinners and hanging out. That's not something that I want to lose as I head back into socializing with a wider group of people. So there's going to be a balance.
Christine, thank you so much for talking today.
Absolutely. This was fun.
If you have questions for us or topic suggestions or want to comment on this Badger Talk, you can send us an email at covid19update@uc.wis.edu. And for more info, you can go to covid19.impact.wis.edu. This is Badger Talks.